Hello everyone, welcome to something new from Diceade. We're going to be joined by a regular co-host, two hosts, I don't know. No one has primacy, but I'm joined by Bruno today from Millénium, Condor, Fiction.
That's it.
No? It's close, I don't know, maybe. And so it's the only French-speaking X-Wing podcast in existence.
Yep.
So default the best. And he also hosts the X-Wing Lawmaster quiz. If you've not listened to it, you should really check it out. Bruno puts far too much work into it for the production levels. It puts us all perfect. To shame. So, how are you doing today, Bruno?
Doing good. And Chris, I drink to our new podcast X-Wing entity there, which will eclipse all the other one.
It's a bit early for me yet, Bruno.
Well, it's past noon somewhere in the world, Chris.
Oh, you're French. You can have your wine.
I'll stop you right there, Chris. I'm not French.
Quebekers are just
no. I'm French Canadian. Yeah, not the same thing.
That's even worse. That's like being French and polite.
That's better. Because, like you British are not Americans and the Americans are not British, I'm not French.
Okay.
Keep that in mind, all right?
You like wine, so you're practically French. Doesn't take much more.
Okay. We'll see.
Okay. And then so apparently you've got to present me, Bruno. That's what it says. So,
Yes. All right. So, Chris, formerly the devil's advocate on the Late Nova Squadron radio podcast, my co-host is presently a host and the producer of the famous Lack of Focus X-Wing podcast. Born in the UK, this former British Secret Service agent would kill you where you stand, take your place at the table while sipping his tea, and nobody would be the wiser. Yes, that's how he's good. And he might also know a thing or two about X-Wing. I am happy to be co-hosting this with Chris Sheriff. There you go. Now, beat that.
Okay. So, basically, we wanted to just get together and chat because I hadn't spoken to Bruno for a while. So,
hey, Chris.
Yeah?
Present me.
I did.
Oh, that was it?
A bit earlier, where I told people what you did,
Okay. All right. Not a disappointment. Not at all.
No, it shouldn't be, because it was straightforward, to the point, give people what they want. The information, nothing more, nothing less. I don't need to fluff it, I mean, telling people you're a host of the best French-speaking X-Wing podcast in the world isn't enough for you. Oh, when egos collide.
Okay. I accept.
So we wanted to I just wanted to catch up with Bruno and have a chat, and I thought the only way I was going to get to do that was offer to record while we did it. So yeah, I thought it could be fun. And that was McBLoF? Is that what we're going with?
Yeah, McBLoF.
Definitely.
You want to explain what it is?
It's Millénium, Condor, Fiction, or whatever. Some word.
MCB and LOF.
Yeah.
Or lack of focus. Yeah, McBLoF. Makes
definitely
sense.
Not just named after a Simpsons character.
No.
Because that would be like copyright infringement. And
we don't do that on this podcast.
No. Well, we probably will, let's be honest.
But Chris, why don't you tell the few watcher and listener we have what we wish this to be?
I hope that it's going to be fun. And I'm tempering my expectations, Bruno. I think it's going to be fun because I generally enjoy talking to you. I don't know what other people are going to think when they listen, but it'll be fine.
Yeah. All right.
So you have hopes and dreams, though, don't you?
Yeah, I want it to be about X-Wing. That's the first thing. Crap.
Oh, damn.
I want it to be fun, of course, because what's the point of doing something if we don't like what we're doing? I want it to be light, no deep analysis and headaches about points and stuff like that. And I want it to be entertaining because why would people listen to one more podcast or watch one more YouTube thing? Well, there's hundreds of them out there, and they're all serious, so I don't want it to be too serious. Anyway, I can't be serious. It's impossible. Can't be done.
Yeah. So, you said there are a lot of other podcasts out there, so hopefully this will just be something a little bit different. I think we're going to aim for less than 60-minute runtime. So this first one will probably drag on as we get into the swing of doing it. But I think, did we plan on doing 2 talking points, one each that we bring to a table, something like that?
Yeah.
And then that's kind of it. We don't hit sweeping topics. We're not going to try and date the show too much by talking about new releases. Hopefully it's just going to be fun X-Wing content you could listen to at any time and it just be enjoyable. So
yeah, exactly.
We'll see.
And you want to tell them what it will not be?
So, it will not be like anything else you've listened to be honest. It won't just be me rambling on and on about, flight decks and how I dodged this asteroid and rolled my 3 attack dice and I rolled the 2 evade dice. And we're not going to have any of that.
So it won't be pretentious.
Oh, well,
unlike your accent, maybe.
We will. Right. I might be obtuse and, I don't know, but I will be lots of negative things, but it should still be fun to listen to because it'll be mostly directed at you, Bruno.
And it won't be an echo chamber, right? At least we'll try not to be an echo chamber. All right.
Well, I don't know. I don't think we would get to that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm pretty sure we will have echo chamber moments.
Oh, for sure. But it will be good echo chamber moments.
Yeah, I don't. From the stuff we've got planned for today, I don't think there's that kind of. It's not like we're going to be like, oh, Von Regtai is awesome, Von Regtai is terrible.
Yeah.
Whatever the current internet take is, because we're not really going to talk about that kind of stuff too much. So we'll see.
Not too much.
Just a little bit. It's a treat.
So you said why you wanted to do this because you wanted to get in touch with me, right? You want to talk to me. Right? It's you reaching out to me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And why I'm doing this is because you propose.
You had the opportunity to be on camera.
Yeah, and I took control and blew this out of proportion with the script, the show notes. I want a jingle, I want a Patreon, I want a YouTube channel, and so on and so on. And you'll be receiving swag soon about the McBLoF podcast. And also because I crave for attention and I want to use your renown for my own gain, right? But also I love you, Chris, so I wouldn't miss an opportunity to produce something with you.
That's good. I'm pretty sure about 40% of that is true.
But I hope you're ready for this and that your hosting skills are strong because otherwise I will, not voluntarily, but nonetheless, I will walk all over you, okay? I take a lot of place, I talk a lot, and I kind of have the bad habit of stealing the show.
It's okay, because my plan today is to just give you the rope and just watch you hang yourself. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'll rein you in when it's needed. Don't you worry.
All right.
Don't you worry, your pretty little face.
So are we good for the transition music to the next segment?
If by transition music you mean that statement, yes.
Yeah, no, I mean the whoosh.
Yeah, that's in there as well.
All right, so I want to shout out to other podcasts that I may or may not listen to, all right? So in no particular order, we shout out to Stay on Target, The Salt Mines, Birmingham Barons, Shuttle, Tidarium, Sith Takers, Snapshot, Florida Man Plays X-Wing, the 512 ATX Squadron Podcast, the Omega Squadron Podcast, the Recon Specialist, Turn Zero Podcast, Thule Squadron, Radio TCX, Imperial, or Propaganda Radio, Lack of Focus. C2 Sky Squadron, if they ever put out a new episode at some point, the Midwest Scrubs, the Inland Imperial Ace, the Carolina Crates, Liberty Squadron, Gold Squadron, Fly Better Podcast, Natties, the 186th Squadron, Scum and Villainy, and the Lore Master Quiz, of course. And I'm sure that I'm missing a lot of them.
No, I
miss
literally
some,
don't think there is a single podcast you missed, especially not your own.
Well, I didn't say the Millénium Condor Balado Diffusion, and I didn't say some that haven't produced anything in month, right? Because there's others.
The X-Wing podcast.
Yeah, those that are active, right?
Yeah.
So you want to add something to that list, Chris?
Yeah, it does make me wonder why we're bothering. You are correct. It's not like people are at a want for X-Wing content. So,
all right, just for fun, Chris, you are aware of how many of these podcasts?
Aware of or have listened to?
Both. Let's start with the aware to and then the listen to.
I'd say I was aware of about 90% of that list. I won't insult anyone by saying which ones, the few that I didn't know about.
There's 25 podcasts out there.
Yeah.
26 with mine in French, but who cares?
Some French people, so no one.
Yeah, so no. So 25 podcasts. So you were aware of about, you said 90%?
I'd say over 20.
23?
Maybe 3 of them I didn't know. No, 4.
Which one?
Not telling you.
Come on.
That'd be
right.
rude. That'd be rude.
I know. It would be rude. Look at the British there.
I can tell you which ones I've listened to.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll go set the top.
You want me to rename them all?
I tried listening to Radio TCX. Wasn't for me.
Tried.
I have listened to Lack of Focus because I have to edit it, so that counts. I listened to one episode of Sea to Sky because he wanted me to be on as a guest, so I thought I'd listen to it to find out what kind of show it was.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to the Carolina Crates because I hate myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to Fly Better a couple of... since it changed to Fly Better, I listened to it a little bit more. And I've listened to Scum and Villainy and the Lore Master Quiz.
Scum and Villainy, it's been a while since they released something.
I can't guarantee anything, but I would not remove that from your podcast feed just yet.
No,
I'm pretty confident.
I was not about to anyway. If you like the Carolina Crates, you might want to listen to the Salt Mines.
I don't like them. It's a terrible podcast.
Well, the Salt Mines is like the little brother. Same approach. It's fun.
Yeah.
And if you like the Australian accent, you might want to listen to the Imperial Propaganda Radio. And if you like the British accent, Chris, you have the 186, but you also have the Sith Takers Snapshot, which are small episodes, like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And they do one a week, I think, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to listen to Podhammer for my Australian accent fix, but that's long dead now.
How did you call that?
Podhammer. It was an old Warhammer podcast.
Warhammer. We don't talk about that here.
It was a trailblazer, Bruno. They were a trailblazer.
We don't talk about Warhammer, Chris.
That's fine.
Like we don't talk about Magic, and we don't talk about Destiny, and we don't talk about any other game.
No one talks about Destiny, because your game's got to be alive for you to talk about it.
And that's, how do you feel about that, Chris? Is that a shame, or it was it was written in the sky that would happen?
It was an inevitability due to multiple issues. I'm surprised that it maybe wasn't the cash cow that they thought it would be. It's hard because I'm never a fan of just going in on companies a lot, but I think there have been a few fundamental mistakes from FFG in handling of a few of their product lines over the last 2 or 3 years, and that in some instances they've succeeded in spite of themselves more than because of the tack they've taken.
All right, but I'm out. French, Canadian, in spite of themselves. What does that mean?
So
unwillingly?
It doesn't matter what they did, it succeeded anyway. They did the wrong thing, and it just turned out well.
Okay, they tried to crash it, and it wouldn't crash, right?
Well, it's like if you an X-wing terminology, I suppose. So, like when the TIE fighter, when Senior Fell lands at range 1 of someone, has no tokens, and gets shot, and you just roll natty evades. Like, I did the complete wrong thing, but then the dice saved me. In spite of myself, it turned out okay.
Okay. All right.
There you go. We good? We good?
Oh, we good.
So,
we good, brother. We good.
This could be a common segment of the show, Chris speaks English at Bruno.
Yeah. And then I'll throw some French at you.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Man.
All right. Transition sound to the next segment. You do it this time.
Well, I'm doing a transition sound, our next segment.
Is it going to be like that? Ah, there you go. All right.
I was just going to clip you doing it, and that's going to be a transition sound now. So,
I accept. All right. So this section is called Content A. All right. And there's a few things I wanted to talk with you, Chris.
Yeah.
First of all, the tractor beam. So it was adjusted or modified in the last or the upcoming
rules
update.
Reference guide.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think about that now? The ship that is being tractored unwillingly can turn 90 degrees wherever you want, right? But not if you are tractoring your own ship. So is that good? Is that bad?
Well, it depends what context, isn't it? Because if you're flying Sunfac and rely on moving them so they can't shoot you, they can always shoot you now. There's no way of arc dodging through a tractor beam movement.
I used to play a double Shadowcaster list with Ketsuonyo, and I was relying a lot on tractor beam, right? And now they just keep nerfing it, so it's kind of useless to have a tractor beam, because if you have a medium base or a large base, it's going to take you forever to tractor it, or you might never be able to tractor it. And now if you manage to do it, he will shoot you anyway, unless you tractor him on a rock or something.
Yeah, so there's moving them onto a rock is probably, or if you're going to move them onto a rock or a gas cloud, I think it's still worth moving them. But I think tractor beams now, the choice to move them isn't as easy. So there's going to be times where I'll tractor someone and just leave them where they are. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'll do it for the -1 agility and then go from there.
So it's less strong, right?
Yeah, hopefully. Well, it's more fun if you're playing against it.
Yeah, for sure. But do you think that's mainly aimed at the Nentex? So the Nentex is so weird and stuff. Let's not say broken, bad, whatever. It's just different that they need to adjust the whole game around it, and other ships suffers. I
don't think it's the ensnare mechanic per se. I think a lot of it actually has got to do with the design space of if tractor beams are becoming oppressive, doing something to tone them down means that you can readjust all the points values. Because, do you really think Sunfac's worth 82 points when he theoretically can just die? So if you do this, you've then got more scope to bring points back into balance. Whereas if you leave it where it is, the fear of a negative player experience forces these higher points costs. It's like inflation and...
Okay. Were you facing a lot of Nentex in your local meta?
No, but I also never lost a game in my local meta when I played Shiratech.
I never faced any Nentex, and in our region, nobody plays that. So I don't know where the needs come from. Maybe there was a lot of complaint, I don't know. But do you think this is necessary?
I don't think it was necessary, but I think it is a correct move.
Even though it affects other ships? Because tractor beam is marginal on other ships.
You can say that you used to fly Ketsu and now you don't feel like you can, But if in 6 months Ketsu comes down by 10 points because she no longer has the oppressiveness of a tractor beam, will you not be happy then?
Oh, for sure.
So,
But see, it's a balance thing, Chris.
Yeah.
Let's say you leave it as is, and it's 6 months. You don't change the points, or now you change the tractor beam, and in 6 months you need to adjust the ship.
Yeah.
Why not leave it as is?
Oh, because this fixes something they think is a problem now.
Right. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually that big of a nerf, because generally I've found that leaving the ship where it is and then just shooting it is fine. Because if it's dead, it doesn't matter whereabouts it was before it got removed.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's a good point. Okay, so do you think that when they nerfed it the time before that, when they say, okay, you need 3 tractor token to tractor a huge, large ship and 2 for a medium, was that too much? I certainly felt that was a lot.
I think that was more... I understand from a perspective of a person playing tractor beams why that would appear to be a nerf, but I more view it as bringing all of the game effects into line. If Ion works this way, Tractor works the same way.
Yeah. But, okay. For me, Tractor Beam to work well would need to be more aligned with the reality. Like, let's say in space, all right? You would have 2 body with a mass. Yeah. The one with the heavier mass or the bigger mass will be able to move the small one, right? Yeah. But if the small one anchor with a tractor beam to the big mass, he's gonna move around the big mass. The big mass won't move, right? Yeah. Follow me, right?
Yeah, I understand exactly, yeah.
So that would be fun, right? If I was a small ship, I tractor on a Falcon, and I move myself around the Falcon because the Falcon is too big for me to move.
But I agree. But I don't think it's executable in the dynamics that we have for X-Wing.
I disagree. They did it with the Nantex. Kind of.
But that's not... So the movement that you get from a Nantex still is based around yourself.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas if it was based around the Falcon, it would be a different move.
Yeah.
So.
What's difficult about saying I have a small ship with a tractor beam, I managed to tractor a bigger ship, I do a barrel roll for my small ship instead of trying to moving the big one?
That's fine, but I feel like you're panicking over not a lot.
I'm not panicking, I'm just thinking out loud. There's no panic there. You haven't seen Panic, Chris.
I think that it will all be fine.
Oh, for sure. It's a game. We don't care.
Yeah.
But just for the fun of it, for the mechanic of it, and it would be fun if a tractor beam could tractor a rock.
So,
if you can tractor a big ship, why not an asteroid?
I would like to. Yeah, that would be nice. I can agree on that one. That would be fun.
Yay!
But I don't like the idea of letting people move themselves from a tractor beam shot.
Why not?
Because it's combat phase movement, and I don't like that.
Okay. It's like doing damage out of phase, right?
Yeah. If I can put my ace with a tractor beam, I don't know, some ship that can do that, then
then you need to bring the tractor beam in the system phase.
But it's getting more overly complicated for just Bruno's
Chris,
part.
I think you're tired and you don't see the real stuff now. You're on the verge of a burnout, I'm sure, so everything is a mountain to you right now.
No,
just take a deep breath, think about it, and you'll agree with me.
I think that I agree that you would have fun. I agree.
All right.
You would have fun.
Yeah. So, do you play tractor beam, Chris?
I've played quad jumpers, which I might go back to now they've come down in points a little bit. I've played SureTech a little bit. I've not really done too much Sunfac. Large base tractors, I've not really tried the Shadowcaster yet. But
yeah. The only reason I'm talking about tractor beam is is that because I love Shadowcasters, I never played Quad Jumpers. I never played any other ship with the tractor cannon or whatever. It's only because I love the Shadowcaster that brought me to play Ketsu Onyo with the tractor beam. Otherwise, I don't really care about the other ship. It's just I want my Ketsu Onyo to be good.
There's not a bad reason for wanting tractor beams to be good.
Yeah. But I understand that every player has his own favorite thing, and they will say, well, I can't do that anymore with my favorite ship. So it's this, I have the same discord. I can say this. Bias. Thank you. Yeah. So you're going to edit this whole part out, right?
No. Just going to let you admit to your bias after telling me that I would agree with you.
Who doesn't have a bias? Who?
I'm an objective host.
Okay.
I will let you. So I will explain my model and my reasonings on any opinion I give, so that you can take my biases out of the equation and make up your own mind.
Hey, I drink to that. Yeah. All right. So the other thing I wanted to talk about with you, Chris, is Captain Cardinal in the Upsilon shuttle, and Phasma crew and pilot.
Okay.
Now, Chris, you're gonna say, why, Bruno, do you want to talk about Cardinal and Phasma?
Because they have an intimate relationship in the books, that they're like counterpoints to each other.
You just scooped me, man. Because yes, I just finished reading Phasma, the book, which is a good book. I liked it. You learned
the pacing was off a little bit.
Maybe, but the content, I liked it. Hearing the stories about Phasma through the words of somebody being tortured, to me that was good.
The problem I had with the book is that I didn't care about Phasma. I cared about Cardinal and
exactly.
Maradi.
Yeah, the spy. Yeah.
Surprised you didn't throw Vi Maradi's card in here as well. She's got the resistant transport pod.
Oh, she's in there. That's right. I should have. Well, you'll talk about that. But you're right. In the book, you don't really care about Phasma, but it's all about her, even if you don't care, because you never have direct contact to the character Phasma, right? Yeah. It's always through other people.
Yeah.
So, nevertheless, you learn...
It's really well done, the way the story's told, that it's always other people's opinions on her and her actions, so you get to see how people are interpreting what she's trying to do.
Yeah. And you learn how she gets her chrome armor. Don't say it, no spoilers. But still, you kind of like Cardinal, right?
I think you're supposed to, yeah.
Yeah. So, Cardinal and Phasma. So let's talk about Cardinal, because in the book, Cardinal is the perfect soldier, right? Loyal to a fault. He's brainwashed to the First Empire, the First Order, and right, his life has been changed, and he's been saved by the First Order. So, does that transpire in the card?
I think that more his role as the guy who trains all of the stormtroopers comes
the youngling.
Yeah. But he puts them all through the paces. So when you're running like the crappy lower initiative pilots, he makes them all a little bit better.
All right, so let's read cards. All right, so Captain Cardinal is the pilot of the Upsilon. His nickname is the
Principled instructor.
Principled instructor, which makes sense.
Which if I wanted to say that in French, I'd probably make it say the instructor with the principles.
No.
The instructor of principles?
No.
With
no, it's more like, I think here principle means more like he has boundaries, and he has a framework which is really tight. Yeah. So it would be the... we don't care what we would be. And so Cardinal there, the Captain Cardinal, because he has a red cape, like Captain Phasma, because the cape is what gives the rank.
Yeah.
All right. Some lore here. Listen well, because that's a question for the next Lore Master quiz. All right. So while a friendly ship at range 1 or 2 with lower initiative than you defends or perform an attack, if you have at least one charge, that ship may reroll one focus one focus result. Not so bad. He has 2 charge. So yeah, this guy is like flying around with recruits.
Yeah.
Makes sense. After an enemy ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed, lose 1 charge. That's weird though. Why?
So his ability only works while he has charges, but as he sees all of the people die, he gets uninspired and then stops being as good at his job.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
You shouldn't lose a charge. That's really bad.
Well, because his ability wouldn't work on charges.
Yeah.
Because you don't spend a charge to have a reroll, remember? It just works as long as you have at least one.
Yeah, because I guess you have this guy with a bunch of generics, right? And you can only do that twice in the game.
No.
Maximum.
After an enemy ship at range 0 to 3 dies.
No. One of your shipmates or whatever, wingmates, attacks or defend, you can use 1 charge.
No.
So you can... that's what it says. If you have at least...
Just read the card, Bruno. You said you wanted to.
All right. In French. Après qu'un vaisseau ennemi à portée 0.3 a été détruit, perdez une charge.
Yeah. Perdez une charge.
Perdez une charge. All right, so, okay, now I get it. It's less bad than I thought. But still, it's... Okay, let's say other squad have... Sorry?
The problem with Cardinal is that you're only rerolling focus results. So what action are you going to take with all of your low initiative pilots because you don't know... No, you're not.
Why not?
Because you don't know if you're going to get to shoot. So you take focus if you don't know. That's the standard. If you don't know, just take focus.
Yeah, but if you don't know, you're a bad player. You need to know what's going to happen, right? Did you just admit that you were bad there?
Oh, I've never denied that, Bruno. I don't think any of our listeners would be shocked to know that I'm bad.
Now you have the opportunity to reroll your focus. So why would you take a focus token? You take an evade because you have the passive reroll from Captain Cardinal.
But if you had the focus, you wouldn't need to reroll it.
No, but the fact that you can reroll gives you the opportunity to take another action.
Yeah. Like target lock, which all of the ships have, so it could have re-rolled.
Maybe a barrel roll to reposition yourself, maybe something else, right? And you still can modify your focus.
It's okay.
I have no argument there.
It's an okay ability. If it was blanks, it would be good.
You're mine. I own you.
Okay. That's why we see it dominating the meta, Bruno.
Yeah, no, we never... Okay, so you think we'll never see that in a competitive play?
He would need to come down a lot. Basically, you can't be paying any points for that ability. He has to be paying as if he's just an Initiative 4 pilot.
Yeah.
Because I don't see a lot of value in that, especially with the current build. You can't get enough stuff in with him. You end up running 3-ish ships. I think you can get 3 decent SFs or 4 FOs, but I just don't. I've tried.
Yeah.
And
you tried? Okay.
I've seen it a few times in the local scene here, but it's difficult to get mileage out of when there's so many other good Upswan pilots.
For the same price, you get something better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's a shame. But still, if you play for the fluff, or if you're really a Vortos, Vortos, Tommy, Spike, and Johnny's, and the last one is how do you say that, Vortos? Vorthos, Vorthos. You can't spell, huh? No, you don't know.
I'd have to.
Can you read? Have you learned to read? They don't do that in the UK, huh?
No. We just invent languages. We don't teach them.
All right, who cares? So after that, we have Captain Phasma crew, which says in French, À la fin de la phase d'engagement, chaque vaisseau ennemi à portée 0-1 qui n'est pas stressé gagne un marqueur de stress. So at the end phase,
at the end of
the engagement phase, each enemy ship range 0 to 1 who's not stressed gain a stress marker token.
Yeah.
Which is not bad, right?
That's good. She's really good.
Okay, so why don't we see her more? Is she too expensive?
It's not that she's too expensive. I think it would be more that the points in First Order lists are too tight to fit. Like the points have to come from somewhere. Where do you take them from?
And they only have one crew carrier, I think, huh?
Yeah, the Upsilon. So you're putting a decent chunk of points into the Upsilon. If you get that medium-based ship that they spoiled for First Order, she might.
The shuttle there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she could go on that pretty well, but until we know more about that, it's not really a thing.
I guess you need to put her in a one-trick pony kind of list, where your Upsilon need to be in your face at range 0 to 1, which is pretty close, and you'll get shot at and you'll get hurt, right?
You can do some interesting things with her. You can what's the Initiative 1 who, when they get stressed over in your firing arc, stuff happens, and there's a few different synergies with the Upsilon for you to play around with her. And you can also literally just run the Starkiller base pilot with her. It's relatively cheap, and you just push it up the middle of the table, and then people end up shooting your Upsilon because they don't want the stress, or they refuse to get close, or they get close thinking they can K-turn behind you, and then they can't. And
so you use that as a bait?
Piece. Yeah, just.
It's an expensive bait, no?
But not if it doesn't die, because they can't chase it because they can't K-turn because they're stressed.
Okay. So have you seen her a lot in your local meta?
Not a lot, but I've seen her used to good effect. Never
seen her. Around here, they don't play it.
You can surprise everybody.
Nah, but not anymore because they know. Now they know.
That would involve people listening, Bruno. I feel like you're safe.
Yeah, but I have a huge following, right? So maybe it's you that's gonna...
I think you confuse the words there. The word you're looking for in English is ego.
That also, yes. But one does not negate the other, right? All right. So if you had to give a grade from 1 to 10 to Captain Phasma crew...
she's a 6 or a 7.
Okay. So she's an underused card. Can you say that?
She's waiting for a ship to allow her to get the best potential.
It's like music when you talk.
I try.
It's full of wisdom, full of passion. It's amazing.
No, not very much passion. Really.
Oh, yeah.
And what about Phasma in the SF, which we're getting in the card pack?
You know what? I haven't even read the card. I've put the picture there in the script, but I haven't read it. So I will read it to you for the first time in my life now. So Captain Phasma in the Thai SF, Special Force, and her nickname is Scryer. Oh yeah, Scryer Survivor. That's her tribe. Yeah, okay. Oh, spoilers. Okay.
If she doesn't die in the book that has her name as a title, spoilers.
Yeah, but in the book, I loved reading about the planet.
Yeah.
Right? What was left of it and the different station they go to.
It felt very interesting. It felt like it stole a lot from pop culture at the moment. Like you had Thor Ragnarok in there and all of that kind of stuff going on, and then a bit of like Mad Max style of stuff. And,
yeah, that's right.
What was the opening bit? Was very reminiscent of a lot of I can't remember the author now, but he's one of the authors who does historical fiction. So he'll write about the building of Stonehenge, but it'll be a story and things like that. It felt very reminiscent of that kind of thing, like Lost Technology and all.
Yeah.
Like, Japanese RPG type stuff in there.
They know that their planet at some point was technologically advanced, right? So, and they find bits and stuff of technology, and when they find it, they go crazy about it. They don't know what it is, but they want to use it. But would you recommend that book for reading?
I would recommend other books before it, just because of the pacing issues. For a book I would recommend to you would be Black Spire Outpost.
Isn't that just a rip-off to sell you the new Disney World theme park?
I'd read it anyway. If you liked that one, Bruno, I would read this one.
Yeah, and you first learn about the Black Spire Outpost in...
Yeah.
And in the Tron trilogy?
Yeah.
So, what's there more to learn about it, right? No, don't read that.
You can find out
it's
more
only,
about Maroni and Captain Cardinal. Main characters in the book.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to read it then. But for the average reader, the average Star Wars fan, because I read a lot of science fiction and Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, novels. I like that one. It was refreshing. It was a bit different.
Yeah, but like I said, the main thing for me was the pacing was off. Because of the way it's written, I found it difficult to want to care about Phasma, which meant I was reading large chunks of the book which were irrelevant to me because I wanted to know what was happening with Vi and Cardinal.
You're right, because when you read and she's telling the story of what's happening on the planet, and then you come back to the ship, I was like, come on, quick, I want to go back to the planet, right?
Oh, so you were the opposite way.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
You wanted to know what's happening on the ship?
On the ship, yeah.
Ah, okay. See?
Oh, there you go.
All right, so what does she do, Captain Phasma, in Earth ISF? While you defend, after the neutralize result step, another friendly ship at range 01 must suffer hit or crit damage to cancel one matching result. So you're getting attacked, throw the dice, you finish neutralizing everything, so you know the end result. And a friendly can
must, not can.
He must absorb one of your damage.
Yeah. She's a survivor. Other people tend to get shot when she stood there.
Or she's shooting them. Who knows?
Who can say?
All right, so that's not bad, right? It's kind of a big Darklighter.
It's interesting because of how First Order works. You have things like Fanatical, where if you're running Phasma with a swarm of FOs, plinking shields off the FOs to turn on Fanatical instantly gives you all of the benefits of that. You can also fly with stuff like Quick Draw, where you don't have options on who you shoot. If you shoot Phasma, Quick Draw is going to only lose one shield, so you end up targeting Quick Draw first. So,
you know what? I want to play that tonight because tonight I'm playing, so I want to play that. And I'll lose bad again. Chris, I hate you.
Good.
Good.
Working as advertised.
Yeah, and of course that ship has also the heavy weapon turret, like any other at ISF. So, do you know the cost of that ship?
I can pull it up for you, I'm pretty sure. You have to fill time, though, because this will just be dead air.
I'm dancing.
Otherwise. That will work really well for the podcast format.
Yeah, but you're going to edit it out.
No.
Because you're an amazing producer.
I am. I'm also lazy, though.
All right. So while Chris is searching for something, I'm going to talk to you about the Lore Master Quiz Patreon tier. So if you like the Lore Master Quiz, you can support the Lore Master Quiz through the Millénium Condor Balado Diffusion Patreon program. There is a tier for there where you receive English exclusive swag. So now you might have seen it on different posts. We have like a 4 or 5 torrent, Ghost Squadron torrent pilot. We have Torquilmix, and Suntirfell, which is amazing. And the reason we're doing these pilots is because in our French show, we have a segment where somebody comes in and talk about the story of one pilot. And then we compare its story to the card, right? A bit like we did with Phasma there, but over like 45 minutes. Okay, so for every segment that guy does, I produce a card. So if you are a Patreon of the Lore Master Quiz, you will receive those cards in English as we produce them. Good deal. And the other swag mentioned in the description. But you can also be a Patreon of Lack of Focus. They need your money badly.
No,
because
we don't talk about that.
Down on their bank account. And Chris can't support that. He has a family. He has 2 dogs, a daughter, a wife, which is an alcoholic, and a dead mother. So he needs your money. Send your money to Chris. Never mind Lack of Focus. Send it directly to Chris. You'll thank me later, Chris.
I'm sure I will, Bruno. I'm sure I will.
You're welcome.
So, back on point. Captain Phasma is 39 points.
All right, 39 points. That compares to what?
Backdraft is the same points. So she's the same points as Backdraft.
Okay.
And it's the same points as the Initiative 5 new ship, the Lieutenant Lehus.
Okay, so ability to ability. For the same price. Who do you take? The 3 of them, or you take only Phasma and other stuff?
I think you need the context of the list. If you're only going to give me one, I would probably take Backdraft over her because I feel like you can get the most value out of his ability with nothing else taken into account. But I think you can build some interesting shenanigans around Phasma's ability.
So she's an endgame ship, right? Because you put her in front, people will attack her because she might be the only target. She will push damage backwards or to friends, and at the end of the game, she'll still be there, full health.
I would more call her like an enabler or like a support ship.
Time out. French Canadian enabler.
So she allows you to do things with other ships that you wouldn't normally be able to do. Like, you normally cannot guarantee that you only take 1 damage to turn on Fanatical if you're running FOs. You normally cannot guarantee that you only lose 1 shield from Quick Draw. So she enables that to happen.
Okay.
And then if your opponent chooses to not shoot her, because if she's in the end game with full shields, then her ability doesn't do anything because there's nobody else to take. So...
in the end game, I guess the other guy is going to be a bit damaged, right? And you'll be full health.
You hope.
You hope.
Yeah. I would hope that she would be the first one to die, because if that's happened, I've used her ability lots of times.
Yeah.
So.
Also, is that a trap? Because you're passing damage to other ship all the time. So when she dies, all of your other ship are damaged and low health. And then they're easy to pick up.
Well, exactly like Biggs and Lulric used to work together and Selfless.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you a true story.
Yeah.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
At the final of our league, which I won, my opponent had a list with Biggs. Some other people with Selfless and stuff like that. So all the game, he had Wedge in there also. All the game, I couldn't kill the main guy, right? But when I finally got him, everybody else was as 1 or 2 hull. So they went pluck, 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 and I won the game in 1 turn.
Yeah.
So at first it was really frustrating because I felt like I was not getting damage through, but I was on other ships, right?
Well, how much damage were you taking in return?
Well, not enough because I won.
So that seems like him playing badly more than the abilities not being good.
No, I'm good, all right?
No, I never brought your skill level into it. I'm saying that if your opponent managed to keep multiple ships alive through your fire for longer turns and didn't do damage in return, that was his problem, not the ship's abilities problem.
So are you telling me he lost the game, I didn't win?
No, you won. Like, you obviously did stuff and won the game. No one can ever take that away from you, Bruno.
No, but you were trying really hard, though. Okay, let's move on. All right, so the new Phasma pilot there, good, bad, average?
Interesting.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Interesting.
So we'll need to explore it more, try stuff with it, and then we'll know. But still, it's fun to have new stuff.
Yes. Okay,
Chris,
so
transition sound?
yeah, it's in there.
Do it, come on. Be part of the show, Chris.
If you're gonna make me produce it, I edit the noise in. We've done it once. That's it. We don't need to do it again. So
Chris,
what's this segment called, Bruno?
Content B.
That's good.
Second segment.
Good naming.
So Chris present the new hyperspace format.
Yeah. So obviously, hyperspace before January wasn't really much different to playing extended, especially if you were playing First Order, Resistance, Republic, and Separatists. It was basically the same format. The new hyperspace is different, shall we say? How do you feel about the new hyperspace, Bruno?
I don't really care about it because we mostly have extended format here. People play extended. When we'll have a hyperspace tournament, the attendance will be low. And then I'll cook up a list for that then. Maybe I will net list it, but I don't really care. I will play with what they gave me, so for me it's not a big deal.
It's interesting. I know my community here was like straight onto hyperspace. They all wanted to start playing these restrictive lists and explore that new environment and see what challenges it brings up. And I'm running an event on Saturday, which we're going to do a hyperspace event straight away.
Oh,
yeah. Because do you still run like smaller level events, or do you just do the big events now?
No. We do small, like equivalent of let's say Star Championship.
Yeah.
Well, store tournament.
Yeah.
Right? With 25 to 30%, let's say.
Yeah.
It's going to be extended.
Yeah. So you just keep the one format all the way through. You don't like vary it up.
Yeah. I don't know. Hyperspace never took off here. People hate it. I don't know why. I don't really care because these are the framework you give me with these ships and pilots. All right, I'll try to make the best out of that and play the game because I love the game. That's it. That's all. So I don't really care. If I can't go to a tournament and they say, well, it's hyperspace, I'll go, I accept, right? So that's it. That's all for me.
What you should do is try and run a quick build tournament with put good prizes in and just see what happens.
Not bad.
I promise you, varying up the formats is really, really interesting.
All right, okay. I have a tournament to organize in February in the store that I play in, and I'll do that. It's going to be a quick build tournament, and I will say it's Chris's fault.
Yeah, what you should do as well, in the description, just put in brackets, if anybody asks you to borrow an Upsilon, say no.
Why?
Because you can take 4 Upsilons in an 8-point hyperspace, in an 8-point quick build.
Are you shitting me? 4 Upsilon?
Yeah.
No. I will take 4 Upsilon and tell nobody about that. I need to go buy 2 more.
It's good. There's so much crazy stuff in the quick builds. Like, what was it? Sunfac has like afterburners in his quick build.
Okay.
So you get Ensnare and afterburners. So he can boost barrel roll tractor.
Not bad.
You know?
Not bad.
Pretty good.
But we don't see a lot of Nantex here. You know what? Around here, as soon as something is labeled like NPE, people don't play it. We kind of have auto-regulation, or they will play it in big tournaments, but in small tournaments and let's say tournament nights and stuff like that, they won't play the NPE. That's really fun because we can attract new player easily with that because nobody will crush somebody just for the sake of crushing somebody, right?
Yeah.
We have a good community, unlike you.
What do you think about the removal of specific pilots from hyperspace rather than only doing it by ship type?
I find it interesting. I don't know what it is based on. Like, why remove that pilot not that one, and this one, I didn't think about it or try to analyze it to say, this one is that point, that ability. But
so I have an analogy for you, or maybe it's a simile. I like to think of it as pruning a bonsai tree, just patiently. I'm just going to take this one leaf away and see how it grows from there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because to me, hyperspace
watching what it grows into.
It's kind of a free-for-all hyperspace, right? You need to think outside of the box. You need to find new stuff that is not meta-labeled or, something really different. So hyperspace to me is a format that forces you to think.
Yes.
To bring your own stuff into it. It's hard to net list for hyperspace right now, anyway. So I don't have any insights on hyperspace or on which pilot was taken out, which is still there. One, because I don't really care. I will play with what is there when I need to. And secondly, it's only a game, and that's the framework we have. Let's play with the framework, and that's it.
Okay, and then I believe our last segment you wanted to touch on was just generally you need my help building lists.
Yeah. All right. So this coming Sunday, I have a tournament. Okay. And I haven't played competitively since mid-December. And I think I've played like 6 games since December. And I have 2 lists. All right.
Yeah.
I will present them to you. You will destroy them. I will tell you to fuck off and go to hell. And we'll see what comes of it. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is not a PG-13 show. All right.
Apparently not.
It's too late for that.
I think you get one. It's all right.
Oh, yeah, we're allowed one. All right. The first list is called Luc et Joanne, which stands for because I have something. It's a mental illness, I think. I take the names in English and I give them a French name. So Jan Ors becomes Joanne. Okay? And Luc becomes Luc. So Luc et Joanne. So we have Jan Ors in the Hawk 290 with Lando Calrissian and the title Multicrow.
Yeah.
Then we have Luke Skywalker with a proton torpedo, R3 astromech and the S-foil, and a U-wing piloted by Cassian Andor, no French name yet for that guy, with Leia, Generso, and the S-foil also, or I don't know the name for that, the foils, or whatever. All right, so 199 points. How I play with that, of course, Jan Ors will take the stress to give either Luke or Cassian the extra dice, and she will be following a bit in the back. Luke will shoot his torpedo as soon as possible because I like and I love torpedoes. That's why it's there. I know it's expensive, but hey. And the astromech there is kind of be taking 2 target locks, so the opponent need to deal with the fact that 2 ships might be receiving a torpedo in the face. All right. Cassian is there to remove the stress, of course, of somebody. Probably Jan Ors, since she's going to take a stress to give 1 extra dice, attack dice. Jen Urso is there for fun. If I need at some point, for whatever reason, to take an evade instead of a focus, that's what I do. And Lando is also there for fun because it's always fun to have 2 tokens. Instead of just taking 1 token, I might get 2 tokens. It's usually the token you don't need, right? You need a focus, you get 2 evades, whatever. So what do you think of that, Chris? I've used that in a tournament. I did good. All right, come on.
I think that the average ship
Hey, Chris,
count,
you're going to need to speak louder because I can't hear you.
That's because you're like drinking too much wine and getting all hypey. It's fine. So I think that the meta we're going to evolve into, especially early out of the gates of this points change, the ship count is going to go up, which really puts the pressure on Luke to kill 2 things with those proton torpedoes. Once you get later into the game, Jan isn't going to pull her weight, especially if Luke's gone down. So you're really leveraging the Jyn Erso evade onto Luke to try and mitigate damage. So it's definitely a lot. Like Luke has to carry a lot of weight in that list. He's a force carrier with torpedo, so he can. But I'd be worried about and like just jousting many things. I don't know that you'll be able to joust swarms too well. Like Luke should kill something on the first shot, but how much damage can he absorb on the return punches? So
yeah,
I think I prefer a list where if I'm going up against, we'll say like the Seer Swarm, something like that, I would like the potential to kill 3, just take off 3 vultures in one round. And it's there, but if you try it, I think you're going to overexpose yourself. So this is right on the cusp of, do I find it acceptable or not? But you said you've tried it before and done well, so
yeah. Maybe it's not that good. Maybe it's practice that make me average with it, because I've been playing the Hawk forever, because that's one of my favorite ship. Either Scum or Rebel, I play it all the time. So I'm good with using the boost, doing the jam, and using everything. And it's often my end ship, and it rocks. Seriously, it's a good ship with the 2 defense dice, and when you are able to be at the right place at the right moment, it hurts.
Would you not be tempted by dropping Lando and then maybe give you 3 points? You could.
Lando is 2 points.
Yeah, you've got a 1 point bid. So. Yeah. I don't know, Bruno. I think there's potential, but it's definitely on. You put all of your damages front loaded, so you win the game in the first 3 rounds of engagement, and then the game. You know what the outcome of the game will be after those 3 rounds of shooting are done. So I don't know you have any tricks after that.
Well, what I found out is that people want to kill Cassian first because of Leia. And it's surprising how they get in my face, and I get 4 dice with Cassian on somebody, plus the 5th dice from John from Joanne, and they get surprised. I just vaporized the ship there. Boom.
Maybe she's from the Netherlands, and it's Janos. Yeah.
Maybe, who knows? I think she's from Montreal, or maybe Saint-Jean-de-Mata, and she's called Joanne.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Who can say?
Or maybe Repentigny, just at the east of Montreal on the island there. Probably Repentigny, so it's Joanne. Yeah. Say it.
Joanne.
No, Joanne.
Joanne.
Come on, Chris.
I'm just enjoying you saying it in a more and more American accent. The more I say it wrong, the stronger your accent's getting.
Joanne. All right. Nevertheless, for the first time in my life with that squad, I faced a swarm. All right, with a Seer. I never had played a swarm like that before and didn't know what to do. Of course, Luke killed a vulture on the first round, and then I got stuck in the swarm, so I couldn't move. Never got my tokens, so he shredded me apart. Right.
Yeah.
Now I would know that to split it up and make sure that different angles of attack and stuff like that. But all the games I won, people did not expect what was happening to them. They did not expect the full attack from Lando. They did not expect Joanne to be unstressed. They did not expect Luke all of a sudden to be in their face or with a torpedo. So either Luke or Cassian was getting an extra dice every turn.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you take people by surprise, you do have that damage output in the early game. Like the torpedo giving you a 4 dice attack with no range modifiers, and then Cassian also being a 4 dice attack, and Jan still throws 3 dice. It's a lot of damage. But as one of your ships goes down and you're out of torpedoes, that's a big drop-off.
That's right, because in one game, my 2 torpedoes just did nothing, right? And then I was like, ooh, okay, torpedoes are supposed to do damage, and they didn't. So that was hard. All right, so yes, no toaster.
I don't know. Would you like the score out of 10 again for the list? I don't know. I feel bad.
No, come on. If it's a 2,
give that a 4.
say.
A 4, right? A 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Yeah, I think it's below average. I think there's better things to spend your points on. I don't know that you actually need Leia. I've not seen you play the list, so I don't know how much value you're getting out of her. But there's a lot of stuff you could move around. Maybe shield upgrade onto Jian. You could get something more offensive onto Cassian. Maybe even get regen onto Luke or a more aggressive astromech. But it's a lot of it is going to be play style. So
yeah, okay. So I will send you the link, and you modify the list, and tonight I win. Is that good?
We'll try. We'll see.
All right. The second list I'm gonna try tonight for my tournament this Sunday. It's kind of the same. All right. I like X-wing. I like U-wings. So it's Wedge with a crack shot and the S-foils. 2 BTL A4 Y-wing of the Grey Squadron with the Ion turret and the veteran turret gunner. And Bentec 2 tubes in the U-wing with perceptive co-pilots and, of course, the foils.
Yeah.
So
I actually like this one a lot more.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, why?
You have 4 ships. You've got a decent amount of beef, which is what I think Rebels are going to excel at in this meta. You've got veteran turret gunner ion cannon, so you're still going to be rolling 6 attacks if you just joust someone straight up. So you have a decent amount of potential to take ships off a board.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm not sure on, which I'm just going to look up quickly, is... So, there we go. I would be tempted. I suppose you can't run it tonight because the card's not out yet. But K2SO over Bentrick.
In the U-wing? Okay, so What's the difference? What does he do?
So after he gains a stress token, he gains a calculate token.
Why?
So he has a red coordinate.
Why?
So you can coordinate people and get a
still do that with Bentic, no?
Yeah, but you don't get the calculate onto him.
I have perceptive co-pilots. I get two focus.
Yeah, but you can't coordinate and have 2 tokens. This way you can coordinate somebody else and have a calculate token.
What's the initiative?
3.
And Bentic is 2, I think, huh?
I believe so, yes.
Same price?
Same price. And you don't need perceptive co-pilot anymore, so you have 8 points left in the list. 8 points.
Yeah. Okay, so when is that card pack coming out?
I believe it is shipping now, so it should be on sale on Friday, potentially.
So it should be good for my Sunday tournament.
Potentially.
Yeah. Booyah! I'm gonna win! Alright, so I gather you like more of that list. It might be a less fun to play, though, because Y-Wings go put, and with the first list there, I need to move around. I need to think of the opponent's movement. And here, with the Y-Wing, I just go forward slowly. Is he in my heart? Yes, alright, I can shoot twice. You know, it's a bit less fun to play, I think.
I do not disagree. But amazing.
This is the beginning of a fruitful relationship, Chris.
What we could do is, if we're going to do this again, we could try and get listeners to send us some lists in for us to do this.
Listeners! And you thought I was the dreamy one. And there you go, talking about listeners.
Someone will do it. People are like...
Someone will do it. All right.
People don't like themselves. I don't know why.
All right. So in the other list, it was Luke because of the Force. The 2 Force made him resilient, if you want. He's harder to kill.
Yep.
Okay. And in the second list, Wedge is going to be the target number 1. So he won't live long. That's for sure. So that's why I prefer Luke to Wedge.
Yeah, again, your damage is front-loaded, though. So what you can try to do with your 8 points that you have left is try and tear down some swarm tactics, maybe. So you can have multiple ships shooting at initiative 6. You could use it to bump up the Y-Wings initiative from Greys into Golds, is it, the higher one? I believe that's the right way around.
Chris, have you ever had your brain measured? Because you sound so intelligent that I'm sure you're above average. The brain size, I mean?
I doubt it.
No? Is it a British thing or it's a...
I sound intelligent. I'm probably pretty stupid.
Oh, that's the accent, the pretentious accent. Hey, you must be happy that the prince, the guy there, the redhead, and his chick is coming to live in Canada, right? Must be ecstatic.
I did see that Prince Harry wants to distance himself from getting free money, which seems pretty stupid. I don't know.
Did he ask you for it, or did you advise him?
No, I mean,
as a British citizen,
good on him. Do what makes you happy. I don't care either way. Your choices don't affect mine. So
you know what? Maybe the Queen is a pain in the ass, and you just want to get away from there.
No, it's your grandmother, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't want to insult.
It's not the Queen. It's
Queen loving thing there that you have.
Oh, I don't like. No. I'm not a monarchist, but I'm not against a monarchy. If you gave me a choice between Queen or no Queen, I'd probably say Queen because she doesn't do anyone any harm.
Well, she costs money, no?
We bring money into a country as well. Like, who's going to go and see where the Queen lives if she's not the Queen anymore?
That's right, because I went to London and I went to see the palace.
Of course you did.
Shame on me. No, that was great.
I get why certain elements of the Commonwealth might not be as okay with the monarchy, shall we say? But
yeah,
I don't know.
It's old stuff, if you ask me, and we're over that now because she's not present enough. The monarchy is not present enough here for us to care about it.
Yeah,
and for me even more because I'm French Canadian, so I was conquered. We lost the war.
See, this bit about him not being French earlier, folks, was all a lie. The 100 Years' War continues into 2020. That's why he called Joan of Arc, fighting against the English.
Yes.
That's why. I mean, it's not my fault she was a heretic witch and the Pope had to burn her. That seems like your fault, man. Should have taken better care of her.
Cease your bad mouthing of Joanne. Okay, so a grade from 1 to 10 for the second list. Keep in mind that the first one was a 4.
Yeah. Where it currently sits with Benthric, Duke's Tubes, and Der Tubes. That makes him sound pretty interesting.
YouTube? Yes.
I'd make that one a 6 because it's easy to play. It does what it's going to do. You put all of the onus on your opponent to outfly you. You don't need as much skill to use that list correctly.
So a 6.
I don't think the ceiling. I think so. I think you could win a tournament with this list, but remember this is with Benthric and nothing else changing as it currently sits. I think this is the start of something.
Okay, and with K2SO instead of Bentic Dirtube?
Depending on if we can boost somebody else up so that we get target lock focus shots on wedge.
Yeah, probably that we can change crack shot with swarm tactic.
Yeah, that leaves us 4 points after that, so you could go up to 2 gold squadrons. You're going to have a lot of control. I mean, what you could do if you were really... you could go one of 2 ways, in fact. Instead of swarm tactics, you could take layer and have the ability to K-turn your Y-Wings and wedge behind them. Or you could look at R4 Astromechs on the Y-Wings to really open up the dial.
Okay. So let's say with those modifications, what's the score? Like next Friday.
I'd put it as like a 7. I think there's a 7.5. It's a good amount of.
All right. So, to you, a good list. What's the score?
So no list is. I couldn't tell you any list in existence. So, old Quad Phantoms would be a 10 in the current meta. That kind of thing.
Okay.
Well, like when you had Vader on Whisper, that kind of level would be a 10. So you're looking at I don't know what's a really good. So Seer Swarm, I'd put it an 8.5 or a 9.
Okay. So this is just a bit above average.
Yeah, this is the problem with this list, Bruno, is that at its heart it is a jousting list, and I don't think it is the best jousting list. I don't think it outjousts Seer Swarm on average dice.
Okay.
I think you need to get lucky, which it can, but I don't know that it always will.
Alright, so I guess these two lists will rely a lot on skills, piloting skills and experience and
I think
what you're facing.
The first list will rely a lot on your opponent recognizing what you're going to do before the game starts.
Yeah.
And then your skill at executing what you want to do. The second list, it doesn't really matter what you do. The floor to that second list is pretty low, but the ceiling is also quite low. It can't do anything special. It doesn't go above and beyond, which is why I don't put it above that ranking.
Would you say it's a beginner's list?
Tiers for this. I think that's a really strong list for beginners. Yeah, you will. If you're new to X-Wing or your community is still pretty fresh, I think you can dominate with that kind of list because people will just fly into it. You're going to eye on people and then K-turn behind them and just wreck them.
So you could give that list to a new guy also to teach him the game.
Yeah,
and you will go fairly young.
That's definitely where I would be tempted. I go. K2 so with Leia, and then have a 1-point bid just because I can't think of anything else to put on there unless he's got a talent slot. Does he have a talent slot? Let's have a look. K2 so he does have a talent slot, so he gets crack shot as well.
Okay,
done. 200 points still.
Boom. All right.
So, but my plan is I'm going to count to 11. So engage happens. Pardon me. So engage happens at either range 2 or range 1. Then I'm going to eye on you. If I can, I'm going to eye on 2 ships, kill 1 ship with wedge, and then K2 so is going to sit in front of you to block you, and then everyone else is going to K-turn behind you. Still get their actions, and it's all gravy from that point.
So that's my world list. That's the list I'm taking to Worlds.
It's easy. Don't need any more effort. It's all there. Done.
All right. So I guess that concludes that segment. So transition sound. Whoosh. All right. Conclusion. Yeah. Chris, first of all, should we do this again?
I don't know. Now that I've spoken to you and caught up, I might. Was this a mistake? No, we should. I enjoy talking to you, and I enjoy talking X-Wing with you, mate. So I'm more than happy to do this again.
That would be fun. I would do it again also. Yeah. So,
I don't. This bit's all on you, man. I don't know. You made these show notes, and I've got to scroll through 35 different quotes and pick one.
Yeah, because every podcast has its own closing phrase. Sometimes it's really cliche. Sometimes it's really bad. So I have found like 25, no more than that, 35 quotes about endings and end and stuff. So Chris, you choose one and you close this bitch.
I try to avoid stories that end with, and he was never seen again.
That's it.